Police incompetence is a topic that doesn't get enough airtime. When we think of police misconduct, we often picture villainous cops, corrupt and bent, turning a blind eye to crime, taking bribes, beating up suspects, and generally abusing their power. But sometimes, the problem isn't so much that cops are bad as that they just plain incompetent. Here, Dr. Stephen F. Myler, Ph.D., gives his insights. So today, we're going to look at 5 times senior police officers have screwed up big time. If you enjoy this video, please hit subscribe. Now, we'll start with No. 1. Sir Bernard Hogan-Howe. On April 15, 1989, 96 Liverpool fans died following a crush at the Hillsborough Football Stadium in Sheffield. At the time, Sir Bernard Hogan-Howe was a superintendent with South Yorkshire Police and would later become the Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police. After the tragedy, there were questions over whether police had caused the crush due to poor planning and whether they had covered up their mistakes. In 2012, Hogan-Howe told the Hillsborough Independent Panel he had provided a full statement about his actions that day to the Taylor Inquiry, which investigated the disaster. But, the following year, it emerged that Hogan-Howe had only spoken briefly on the phone to Taylor Inquiry lawyers. In 2014, the Independent Police Complaints Commission (IPCC) said Hogan-Howe had been misleading when he said he had given a full statement to the Taylor Inquiry. They said his evidence was inaccurate and misleading. However, the IPCC did not find that he had intentionally lied or exhibited gross misconduct. In his defense, Hogan-Howe said he had prepared a statement but never gave it. Instead, he spoke briefly to the Taylor Inquiry team on the phone. So why did he claim he'd given a statement? The IPCC suggested that he may have misspoken, or that he was trying to help his officers by downplaying their role in the disaster. Whatever the reason, this was a pretty screw-up for a senior officer. In a moment of high tension, Hogan-Howe appears to have confused what he intended to do with what he actually did. Perhaps he felt overwhelmed by the disaster and the pressure of giving evidence. Or maybe he was trying to protect his officers, but instead ended up creating more problems for himself. No. To Dame Cressida Dick. If you've watched my previous videos, you'll know that Dame Cressida Dick has been a controversial figure in the Met Police. Dick served in a number of senior roles in the Met before becoming the first female commissioner in 2017. During her tenure, the Met faced numerous scandals, including over its handling of the Sarah Everard murder and the Charing Cross police station sex abuse scandal. But perhaps one of her most controversial decisions was her handling of the investigation into the murder of private investigator Daniel Morgan. Morgan went missing in March 1987 and his body was found in South London 2 months later. Despite several public inquiries, no one has ever been convicted over his death. In 2021, an independent panel looking into the case accused the Met of institutional corruption, saying that the force had tried to cover up its own failings. The panel said Dick, who was an assistant commissioner at the time, had tried to stop it from accessing important documents and had misled the chair of the panel. The question is, why would Dick try to hide the truth? The answer, according to the panel, was simple. The Met wanted to protect its reputation. Dick's actions were part of a wider pattern of behavior, the report said, which revealed a culture of lies, deception, and cover-ups within the force. According to the panel chair, these revelations were shocking but not surprising. This case raises serious questions about Dick's fitness to lead the Met. If she was willing to lie to a public inquiry, what else was she hiding? And what does it say about the Met's culture under her leadership? Ultimately, Dick was forced to resign after losing the support of the Mayor of London, but the damage to her reputation remains. Dick has denied wrongdoing and is suing the chair of the panel for defamation. Only time will tell how this saga ends. But one thing is for sure. This is one incompetent cop who won't be missed. No. 3. Nick Adderley. Nick Adderley joined Northamptonshire Police as Chief Constable in 2018 and was praised for his work during the COVID pandemic. However, his career was cut short in 2021 when he was sacked for gross misconduct, after it emerged that he had lied about his past. Adderley had claimed to have served in the Royal Navy and had even worn medals which he claimed to have been awarded for service in the Falklands War and Northern Ireland. However, it soon became clear that Adderley had fabricated his entire military career. He had never served in the Royal Navy, and the medals he wore were fake. Northamptonshire Police Federation Branch Board said Adderley's behaviour was wholly unacceptable and has damaged public confidence in policing. He was subsequently dismissed without notice. The case against Adderley was brought after a complaint was made by a serving police officer, who had uncovered Adderley's lies while researching his biography for a planned speaking engagement. Once the ball got rolling, it quickly became clear that Adderley's lies went much further than anyone had imagined. He had even fooled the police watchdog, which had cleared him of any wrongdoing in a professional standards investigation in 2018. In fact, Adderley's lies had gone undetected for decades. He had served in senior roles in a number of forces and had been commended for his work. But it seems that no one had ever checked up on his story until it was too late. A subsequent review of the case found that there were very significant failings in the vetting processes that had allowed Adderley to be hired in the first place. It's unclear how Adderley managed to fool the police watchdog and other senior officers, but it seems that fear of challenging a superior may have played a role. Ultimately, this is a classic case of incompetent policing. How did such a decorated officer manage to fool everyone? The answer, like the man himself, is a total mystery. Number 4. Northumbria Police Chief Constable Vanessa Jardine. Last year, Northumbria Police Chief Constable Vanessa Jardine made headlines when she banned her officers from participating in a pride parade. The ban was overturned after a legal challenge, but not before causing outrage across the country. Gardy Lou, who is a lesbian, had argued that allowing officers to attend the Pride event would breach the police's duty of political impartiality. However, the High Court ruled that her decision was irrational and that she had misunderstood the law. The case was brought by Northumbria Police, LGBT+ Network, and the Force's Gay and Lesbian Officers and Staff Association. They argued that the ban was discriminatory and that it sent a message that LGBT officers were not welcome in the force. Gardy Lou had banned officers from attending the Pride event in Newcastle upon Tyne in 2023, saying that it would be inappropriate for them to be involved in a political event. However, the judge ruled that the Pride event was not political, and that there was no reason why officers should not attend. In fact, the judge said the event was about human rights and equality and was attended by people from all walks of life. Ultimately, this case is a clear example of incompetent policing. Gardy Lou's ban on officers participating in the Pride event was based on a misunderstanding of the law and of the nature of the event itself. It's unclear why she made the decision she did, but it seems that she may have been influenced by a desire to avoid controversy or to appease conservative elements within the force or the wider community. Whatever the reason, this incompetent decision was ultimately overturned and Gardy Lou was forced to apologize. These are just a few of the many examples of incompetent senior police officers in the UK. What do you think? Are there any other cases you would have included? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. In part 2, we will break down these cases into psychological types. This video was written and edited by Dr. Stephen F. Myler, Ph.D.